Hey guys, Destinygundum, and today we're going to be taking a look at another KO Figma. Today we're going to take a look at KO Figma number 227, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works Saber 2.0 from Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Yeah, so basically, here's the box. This is one of the Figmas, KO Figmas that I got that actually came with a box, which is nice, and I do like Figma boxes. So here it is. It's a very nice looking box. Got that matte finish. The way you can tell it's KO is it's missing the little sticker right there, and also there's a window box packaging, so you can actually see the figure on the inside and kind of discern some of the missing details or qualities that it may or may not have. And also there should be a sticker around here, back around here somewhere. Also the quality of the pictures of this box are actually pretty alright. There is some sort of fuzziness to them. Like you can see with this picture of Saber right here, there's something a little bit off about it, but that just might be the quality of the box printing. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the figure. So here is Saber, and let me see if I can get the focus on this. Yeah, so overall this figure is actually a pretty good KO. Yeah, so the only thing right out of the box, the only problems that I really had were her whole lower torso was really loose. It still is a little bit, but I put some super glue in there and it fixed it right up. Also, her these little pieces on her ankles, they moved too, but I just glued them in place because they don't really need to move. They're just kind of like an unnecessary movement. But yeah, they also popped off a lot, so that's kind of, you know, a plus. And then the back here, her bun actually had this problem where it would come off, but if you just put a lot of super glue on the peg and then just not like too much, but like, you know, incrementally, it'll eventually stiffen it up and it'll let the bun stick on there and give that bun the articulation that it has on the original Figma. So basically, let's take a closer look at some of the details. So detail-wise, this KO is actually really spot on. There isn't a lot of paint muck-ups. What's funny is it's not like in the details themselves, the paint muck-ups. It's actually around the details, which is kind of wacky. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about right here with these yellow bits are all painted in fine, but then like this, when it comes to this white bit, there's this weird like yellow streak that comes along. I don't know if they're shading or they just, you know, they just messed it up, but yeah. So it has that, and then the silver on here is pretty alright. There is some weird parts where it almost looks like it got chopped off, but this chest piece is just phenomenal by KO standards. Yeah, and also the head, there were some little black splotches. You can get rid of those if you just take some rubbing alcohol and just rub really hard. But yeah, and then what else? Right here, this this front torso, this front section actually has a little bit of paint scrapes all the way around here. So the silver isn't applied very well, but there is some yellow-ish going on there. So yeah. So other than that, nothing really else. There's a nub right here. What's funny enough is all of these little back pieces are all painted in perfectly, like literally they look great. Another thing is that, oh, there goes the button. So yeah, so a lot of things are painted really well. This button is a separate piece, that doesn't count. But yeah, also like underneath here, her dress, there's a lot of yellow bits in the inside that isn't really supposed to be there, and it looks really detracting when you kind of have her dress up and about, because you can actually see this yellow splotches like right there. So that's kind of annoying, but you know, nothing a little paint can't fix. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out her articulation. So for articulation, it's the standard Figma 2.0 articulation. Her head is on a Figma joint, and also can go backwards and forward, rotate 360. They can look up and down. This little armor piece is on a ball joint, so it can move as well. So you can definitely get a lot of poses, like, wow, damn, fixing stuff. Hold on one second. Okay, so, and then this torso, there's a ball joint, there's a ball and socket joint, then there's a Figma joint at the shoulder, so you do get a lot of nice articulation there. And then there is a rotational at the bicep itself, and this little piece is just perfect. Like, it doesn't really get in the way too much, and it always looks fine whenever it's in the movement of things. And then there's a Figma joint right there, there's a rotational joint here, and then there's another little mini Figma joint inside her hand, which is cool. And there's that bun again. Okay, so and then there's a ball joint inside of her torso. so she can go ahead and do all that stuff. There is Figma joints right here in her little armor pieces. There's Figma joints in her dress pieces. In all three of these solid dress pieces, there's Figma joints, and there's a ball joint in her abdomen. It's kind of not abdomen, pelvis section, and it does allow her leg to come up pretty far. She can kick up pretty well. There's a Figma joint there, and it gives us a good just 90 degrees. And there's another Figma joint right here, and if you rotate that a little bit, you know, it's not really a ball joint, it's just a Figma joint, so it's like, you know, you can't get an ankle tilt because the way the Figma joint is positioned inside the foot, but yeah. And you also get this little nice toe articulation, which is, you know, not really needed, but it's cool to have. So yeah. Another thing about Figma 2.0 or Saber 2.0 just in general is that the sculpt is really amazing because it's got this asymmetrical feel, and everything just looks well, and it's a really cool looking Figma. So yeah, let's go ahead and also I forgot to mention the button moves, and that's for later. I'll show off that stuff later. So essentially for that's for articulation, and then it does come with a standard Figma stand, which is just fine, no real problems with it, and it just pegs into the back right there, and it really helps her stand and pull off poses. So there is Figma, or there is Saber. I keep on saying Figma. Okay, so, and now I'm going to go on to our accessories. So here is Caliber. Okay, this is the part where I get really confused. There's Caliber and there's Excalibur. I'm pretty sure this is Excalibur, this is Caliber, or Caliburn. I haven't seen Fate Zero, so this sword, I have no clue. This one, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade works for sure. Okay, but yeah, so let's basically look at the more recognizable one. So it does come with this nice kind of wrapping decal around it, which is applied on really well, no real muck-ups or anything, and the details are really nice on the sword. And the actual sword, and you hear that sheathing sound, yeah, the actual sword looks really nice. There really is no real problems, except for these nubs on the side, which there's only one nub, and it does kind of bother me, but not too much as to go ahead and cut off that nub and repaint the whole gold part, because the gold part is really well done. So yeah, and she can obviously hold it very well. So there's her with Excalibur, and then here is Caliburn. I think this one is, the paintwork here is phenomenal. This is the sheath and no real muck-ups. This is the other side of the sheath, no real muck-ups. So perfect. This handle too, there's really no nubs or anything of that sort, and it looks really well done. And of course you can put that in her other hand. So she can dual wield, even though she never really does that in the anime. So yeah, so of course she comes with, that's pretty much all the weapons accessories she comes with. Then she comes with a whole bunch of hands, so let's take a look at that. So she comes with a pointing hand, this holding hand for holding this, the scabbard, and then also the holding hand also has this nice little curved peg, so she can hold, or she can put the pommel of the sword on her hand and do that kind of pose, the King Arthur pose. And then, so there's that. That's pretty cool. She comes with closed fist, a relaxed hand, which is kind of weird. Okay, and then expressive relaxed hand, and another expressive relaxed hand. Because her hands, they are different. They're on her left side. There's a special kind of three-fingered kind of armor plating. On the right side, there's just standard glove kind of thing going on. So let's go ahead and take a look at her with those hands. So it's easy to just swap them out. You just take them, you put them into the mini Figma joint, and then there you go. You have her with her expressive hand. And let me see if I can go ahead and get a pointing hand. There we go. Alright, so she definitely does pose well with these hands. These hands are no problem whatsoever, unlike Figma and Nori's hands, which are slightly creepy. These ones are just perfect, and I can't really argue about it. Yeah, so there she is with the stuff. So, yeah. Okay, so I do realize there was a weird pause there. Hopefully that doesn't translate into anything more. So, speaking again, these are her hands, and they look nice. So, as compared to Figma and Nori's hands, which were kind of a mess up. So, aside from that, she does come with multiple faces. There's her standard face right there, which is a serious Saber. Let me see, Layton. And it looks fine. There's really nothing wrong with it. There's nothing off about her face, and let me see if I can focus, yay. Okay, there it is. It's fine. Then she comes with a more serious face, which is her shouting face. And then there is another version of that same face, except it has the little embarrassed things on it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So it's simple. You just take not that bun. Okay, all right. So you just take that off. The face falls off. You take the shouting face. You put the shouting face on. Pretty simple, right? And then it also comes with another cool little hair piece, which is Saber's hair flowing in the wind. And then you can just go ahead and plop that on, and wow, that's pretty cool. All right. So there's that, and then for added effect, you can actually articulate the bun, so it seems like her bun is moving in the wind as well. So it's very, very fun things that you could do with this Figma because of the posing possibilities, as well as just in general, like all sorts of the mini accessories that you get to kind of complement the figure. Of course, the Figma stand does help a lot with the posing, especially if you want to get her in some sort of like battle pose, and then yeah. Let me just go ahead and plop on the sword holding hand right here. So it definitely is a really cool Figma to own. And of course, the embarrassed face, to be honest, I think the expression a little bit aggressive for the embarrassed face. Here they are next to each other. Let me see if I can actually close up on it so you guys can discern. Yeah, hold up. Okay, it's not working very well, but basically her embarrassed face, there is a slight smile to it, but I don't know, it's just nothing too different from the other one for me. So let's go ahead and plop that on just to show off. The one problem that I do kind of have is this Figma stand doesn't really like to keep inside of her peg, but some super glue will probably fix that. A lot of things can be fixed with super glue, guys. Yeah, so basically that's, oh shoot. Also the Figma joints in the hands are really tiny and they're kind of weak, so you do want to keep an eye on them. Just make sure not to stress around with them a lot. This one just kind of fell apart, but you just peg it back in and there you go, there's the Figma joint. So nothing, I mean, like, if you just take a look at the problem and you'll be able to fix it, so that's good. Yeah, other than that, this Figma is actually pretty worth it. I paid only about $20 for this Figma. Definitely worth it in my case. Of course, a lot of things in this Figma can be fixed, especially the paintwork, but and also that darn Figma joint that keeps breaking off right now. Usually that doesn't happen. That's the first time for me, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, so ultimately, should you pick up this Figma, yes or no? If you just like Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works and you don't want to spend a lot of money on a real one, but there's kind of a double-edged sword for that, guys. Basically, like, if you spend money on a KO, you're not technically supporting the series, so I would recommend getting the real one, because the real one, of course, quality-wise would be fantastic, as well as, you know, you'd be supporting the series that you really do like. I just got it because I like Fate Stay Night, and I just wanted something to play around with. Yeah, other than that, for a KO, this is actually pretty worth it, so I'll see you guys at the next review.